From TAGTV, welcome to Panorama. I'm your hostess, Ghada Hamadani. Kurdish women have traditionally played important roles in Kurdish society and politics. However, despite the progress, Kurdish and international women's rights organizations still report problems related to gender equality, forced marriages, honor killings, and many other issues. To shed light on some of the Kurdish women's challenges, I'd like to welcome my Kurdish Canadian women rights and political activist, Kajal Hamarashid. Kajal has been recognized by Scarborough Community Council for her contribution towards building a strong and dynamic city. Welcome again, Kajal.
Thanks so much, Ghada, and thank you for this great opportunity from TAGTV to talk about great issues regarding the Middle East crisis and women liberation movements.
Kajal, could you please give us a brief on your background?
Yeah, I was born in Kurdistan, the northern region of Iraq, from the city of Slemania. As you know, I'm an activist, and I involved in political activity from Kurdistan back in 1991. Since until 2002, after 2002, I came here to Canada. I'm still on the same page, involved with the activities to get support for Kurdistan and also for our community here.
Yeah. So, what made you involved in politics at that time?
Okay, my political thinking and views came from the when I was very young in Saddam regime in past time. That time I could see the inhuman and injustice situation in Kurdistan, especially toward Kurds nation and the whole Iraqi nations. After 1991, when the uprising took place in Kurdistan, that uprising was a very great opportunity for us as a young generation that time. So I started to get involved with the politics. That time in 1991 was my actual involvement with the politics. So I joined Marxist group and the women liberation movement. That time in the 1991, when the Kurdish traditional patriotic authorities, political parties took the power as political parties. So I was always trying to criticize the new authorities because that was not really my expectation from that new government, new authorities, and new political and social changes.
Okay, so we're talking about which government you're talking about?
That now known as KRG, the new authority after the Baas regime wiped out in Kurdistan. So new authorities took place, new government formed from the main Kurdish political party, mostly the nationalist parties, the traditional nationalist parties. So in that new self-government, we didn't practice a real democratic system, freedom, woman role, and stuff like that. So we started to criticize our new government.
But this is part of the democracy, right? To criticize
Exactly.
And to, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now it's like, do you belong to any of the parties, or that was in the past? And
actually, no, I don't belong to any of these parties. Like I said, my first involvement in politics started from the uprising. I joined the Marxist group and the women organization, women emancipation movement. That was my real involvement with the politics.
Kajal, what's the women's status in KRG? right now, Kurdistan, the region of Kurdistan?
Okay, in KRG, like I said, after the 1991 when the uprising took place, my expectation and so many other people's and women's expectation was better life, more democracy, more freedom, more women role, women involvement with the leading society and the politics too. But unfortunately, we didn't see that because the new government and the nationalist, right-wing nationalist parties, they have the same mentality, same patriarchic ideas to women and to the women participation in the society.
Okay, it's like we hear there's still, you know, it's like honor killings and lots of issues that women faces. Right now, can you tell us a little bit, you know, what's going on there?
Okay, about the women's status in Kurdistan in KRG under the authority of the Kurdish political party. Actually, they don't do really good because the authority mentality is the same traditional mentality from the society from before. But the new system didn't really do good regarding women issue and women role in the society and in politics as well. Besides, we have a lot of women in parliament, we have women in journalism, we have women in so many aspects, but there's still traditionally in society and even in the government there's a lot of discriminations towards women, so they can't play their actual role in politics and in society as well. Yeah. The problem with the women's status in KRG, first of all, like I said, it's about the government mentality, government policy, and another thing women facing in Kurdistan is the court and the government laws in court and Sharia law. You know,
yeah.
Sharia law.
Yes, like how that Sharia law, the Islamic Sharia law, affects women's life there.
Yeah, Sharia law is one of the main problem for women. You know, in Sharia law, the marriage, custody, inheritance, divorce, all these are unfair and unsuitable for women to play a role in society.
So is it ruling there? The Sharia law is used in Kurdistan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, actually in the Baas regime, it was the court law was based on Sharia law.
But that was in the past, right now.
Right now, yeah. Still the same. Most of the rules are still the same, working. Maybe just a little bit change that doesn't affect much on the woman role in society.
Yeah. But it's like we've seen, you know, it's like on TVs and that women are taking roles actually at the military. So where is that, if you can just explain to us? Because for us, you know, we've seen women, Kurdish women fighting ISIS. They took the initiative and they are fighting ISIS. And, you know, it's like how that works.
Yeah, that is... thanks so much for this question, because that brings me to another part of Kurdish women's life. That's actually, that is the bright side of women's life in Kurdistan. The fighting that takes place in Rojava, the north of Syria. You know, it's called Rojava. In that place, since there's a democratic confederation system, in that system women play main role in the revolution.
What is the system you're talking about? Isn't it part of the Kurdistan
region? It's north of Syria, called Rojava.
So it's separated from the KRG, is that what you're trying? to say?
Yeah, KRG is Iraq. It's
Iraq.
north of Iraq.
Okay.
And Rojava is north of Syria.
Okay.
So KRG, that's south of Kurdistan, and Rojava is the west of
And
Kurdistan.
Rojava belongs to which country?
To Syria.
To Syria.
Yeah,
Okay.
when the revolution started in north of Syria, in Rojava, the enclave established in Rojava. The thing is about the new democratic confederation system in Rojava, because in that system, women are center of the revolution. They play big role in both politically and in ruling the system. In politics, as we all know, the whole world are witnessing how the Kurdish women fighting ISIS in the most often taking the front line, fighting the brutal, most extremist terrorists as ISIS. In the city, in ruling the Rojava government, they take a big role. They play a big role.
Sorry,
for
which
example,
government is ruling there?
That's north of Syria,
Yeah.
but the Kurdish political parties in North Syria, they formed a new, like, self-government, autonomous in
Which
north of
party?
Syria.
Which
That was
party?
mostly YPG and part of the YPG, they formed.
So those women are, it's like receiving their military training and support all through the
yes.
what is it called? YPG?
YPG.
YPG.
That's the Women Protection Unit. That's the military. Yeah, they have a special protection unit military fighting, and to get exactly independent to fight, to get involved in the fighting. In the city, they do play big role as well. For example, I mean, this feminism, they practically play big role in the ruling system in the government. For example, in Rojava enclaves, each town and cities, they must have 2 mayors. One of them must be a woman.
Okay.
That's a good, good opportunity for women to get autonomous and independence. In commune and councils, women take 40%. 40% of them are women. Most often, women leading the council, they co-chair the meetings and the assemblies. In the councils, they have special rules to overcome some women crises or women issues, and they use the veto power over some crises in mixed area, mixed councils. So that is real woman feminism, a woman role, a woman revolution. I wish in the KRG we had a ruling system like that to make women get real involved in leading society and in the fight too.
So in your opinion, those 2 different parties, it's like we have one in north of Syria and the other one north of Iraq, which is, the KRG. So they cannot reach a resolution that to work with each other, because, I believe now Kurds are looking forward to have Kurdistan country as a country, right? United region as a united region or a country. So wouldn't they be able to work together?
I wish they could work together, but I think that is difficult because they both have different political views. In KRG, they they think differently about how to rule the government, how to rule the self-autonomies, and in Rojava, it's different too. They have a different political system. They are more democratic. They have more freedom, more human rights, women's rights. So it's different. I don't think they can work easily together because.
But here in Canada, you work all together because, it's like when we come to the Kurdish community, it's like we always, it's like see you from different parts of the world. We have Kurds from Turkey, Syria, Iran, Iraq, and you all work together, right? For us, we view the Kurdish as a single community. How does that work here in Canada and it doesn't work back home?
Yeah, here personally, I didn't work like that. And if I'm in Kurdistan too, I still gonna work like that. I don't want to stick with one specific organization. As you know, we have several different organizations here, but I always tell them whoever do good work, I'm gonna support the good work. So like you see me, I work with most of them, and I try to collect the good things and avoid the negative ones.
Do you still work with Kurdistan? It's like whatever it's like part you belong to. So while you're here in Canada, you're still giving hand to the families or your friends back home.
Yes, I'm not belong to any political party in Kurdistan, but I do have link with Kurdistan. I am from here. I always try to find support for the liberation movement in Kurdistan. The best one of them, I always do that. That is my link to them. Besides, I'm not a member of any of the political party. But
so how do you help them there? How could you help them? Because it's like you pinpoint, several issues they have. So how do you help?
Yeah, for example, like for the human rights violation over there, most of the time I wrote letters to the international committees, international organization, human rights, Amnesty Internationals. I try to find support, to get international support for them to solve the problems over there.
So before recording, you mentioned you're a big fan of social justice. So what is social justice?
Okay, this is social justice is equality, democracy, like more democracy, freedom, no violation based on gender, peace for everyone, equal rights for everyone, and human rights, and same opportunity for every individuals in the society. That is social justice.
Kajal, how is the relation between the Kurdish community and the Canadian government and the officials?
Yeah, our relation with the Canadian political party, mostly with the Conservative, there's a good relationship in between. Earlier we had several meetings with the Conservative MPs. That was a great opportunity for us. We talked about a lot of important issues regarding Kurdistan and here as well. We really appreciate that because they gave us chance to meet them, know them, and get closer with our government over here. And they did a good job regarding the hunger strike. As they helped a lot. Yusuf Iba, one of the Conservative MP, she talked about the whole issue, the whole strike in
Actually, it
Parliament.
was a teamwork, of several MPs.
That's right.
Statement.
That was a good relation. I think that's how we can get stronger relationship with the government and get more integrate into the Canadian society.
How do you think you can help, the Kurdish and the region from here, from Canada? It's like, what do you expect from the Canadian government? Because, it's like you still see injustice there, especially for women. So what do you expect from the Canadian government to do and help?
Yeah, last September we had a meeting with Ms. Harder, the shadow of the Minister of Women Affairs.
She's in that conservative federal.
Yes,
shadow minister.
Yes, in that meeting we talked about two main issues. One of them, the Kurdish woman Yazidi who sponsored her. They have a lot of traumatic situations. They need a lot of help. The second issue we talked about, the honor killing, the high range of honor killing and suicide in Kurdistan. I spoke with Ms. Harder regarding that. I suggested that, how the government interfered with the Saudi Arabian crisis in human right violation. They can do that as well with Kurdistan, to give a warning to the KRG government why these violations in very widespread in Kurdistan, why the honor killing is very high in that part of the world. So it's about human right. They should care about that.
Yeah. And how is the situation of women, the Kurdish women here in Canada?
Yeah, that's another issue. Thank you for that question. I have a lot of meeting. I go into a lot of meeting, and I take part in a lot of meetings with the MPs with the other organizations. Most of the time I find myself alone, or maybe only me or one or two other women. Here the same thing, like in Kurdistan traditionally women don't take part in politics or in role in society. Here we have the same mentality, same tradition, which is not supposed to be like that. Most of our families in Kurdish community, they've been here for over 15 or 20 years. They should have changed a bit from their traditional adopt the Canadian heritage and culture to allow their women to take part in every aspect, in politics, in society, or in any other ways. But unfortunately, I don't see so many women participating or involved with the activities, any kind of activities.
So are we talking about the Canadian activities, Canadian politics, or you're talking about the Kurdish?
Both. In our community, like a community within Canadian society, and in general in Canadian society, there's no really involvement and activities from them.
So what would you like to tell them from here, from this TV?
I would like to tell both our government here and our Kurdish community from both sides to give more opportunity to women and to the new generation grow up here, to involve with their new home, with the activities, with the culture, with the future of this country. So, and I would love our government help with the different communities, including Kurdish community, to give more opportunity involved with the Canadian society's activities. I do like that this country is a multicultural country. It's a great opportunity to practice our rights, our involvement with any kind of activities, but we may still need more opportunity and chance to build better and stronger community.
Before we close, is there anything else you'd like to add?
That was in mind to talk about give more opportunity from the government for our community to be better, to be stronger.
Sorry to interrupt you. You're talking about the Canadian or the regional government of
No,
Kurdistan?
I'm talking about here.
About here, yeah. But here, it's like there is a chance. It's about the communities. Like it's up to the women to participate or not. So there is opportunity. There is nothing to stop them, right? Or there is barriers.
That's right. Like I said, this is multicultural country. It's good. It's great opportunity for everyone to take part and to do whatever they want. But since, like I gave you example in our community, for example, women can't involve or do their activity, play their great role. There might be some issues. That's why they can't participate. Part of it is from our traditional cultural and mentalities, and the other part maybe there's still improvement from our Canadian society to let and give a bigger chance for different communities to get involved.
Kajal, it was very nice meeting you, and thank you for coming today.
Thanks so much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and up until next time, have a good night.